Fantastic October for us. We've just started with the month, and so far we've made more returns on Bitcoin than in the month of September altogether. September closed with around 5% in profit for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went up around 5% from the beginning to the end of September. Today is the 3rd of October and Bitcoin already did that. So we are expecting double digits on Bitcoin. So let's talk about prices, where we projected to go with this, and a little bit more in today's video. Let's jump right into it. So welcome folks, we have a lot to talk about today. I have been waiting for this moment, which was a spike back in price from Bitcoin, which is back above $120,000. Currently at $120,332 per Bitcoin. So all-time high is around 124. So that's the number to beat. We are very, very close to that percentage. And it looks like we might be reaching that very, very soon. So before we jump into this, let's actually talk about some news on the Bitopics side. We just launched the part 2, the second module here for Bitopics. And the module 2 has all of these videos. We have the introduction to advanced strategies. We're going to talk about straddles, strangles, iron condors, iron butterflies, put ratio spreads, call ratio spreads, calendar spreads, leaps, and how to track and calculate ROI or ROE, I think that's a better term, and other statistics using AI in your favor. So how you take screenshots, use AI to calculate margin, calculate the P&L, even generate, a little payoff chart or a P&L card for you to share on X or whatever you want to share that. So all of this is actually here in this module. So the module number 2 goes from lesson 11 all the way to lesson 20. So if you already watched the first module, which has a lot of information, especially in the first module, I think you should watch the vertical spreads, which is my most profitable strategy so far. This is the one that made me beat the copy trading strategy. So this one you should watch. And then all of these are good for you to understand how options work and how the advanced strategies can protect you on whatever market scenario, whatever market case, even if you are in a bear market, in a sideways market, whatever, we have strategies. Options have the ability to profit in whatever scenario. So this is good for you to understand. And if you need more specific content, just hit me up here on the comments or on Bitopics Twitter, whatever, and that way we can make more videos for more free content. Again, this is super free. You just click the first link in the description and you go to the education tab right here. So our current cryptocurrencies are doing very, very well. The fear and greed index is actually off. I will pull up another one here so we can see, but Bitcoin at 120,448. We have Ethereum almost at 4,500. We have XRP above the $3 once again. We have BNB at $1,100, Solana at 230. Then we scroll down, my favorite Hyperliquid is at $49 right here. So there's a lot of things to take in consideration now. And first of all is that October will have a lot of volatility. And when there's a lot of volatility, we come from September, which was a month that there was a lot of fear on the fear and greed index, to now having a lot of greed. We are greedy. The retailers are greedy guys. And why is that? Look, just last week we were at 28. So if you remember, back in last season, so last bear market, things were very, very slow. So if we were fearful, we would stay fearful for a couple of months, weeks. Now we go from a week of a 28 now to a 64 in a matter of less than 7 days. And this is ridiculous. This is crazy if you understand it, if you think about it, which could mean that maybe we're not going to be overextending like a lot of people are saying, that this market will stay like this until May, until March, until February. I don't have that idea. I think we're going to top out January at most. So I think October is going to be perfect for Bitcoin, and then November and December will be perfect for altcoins. And then we are going to be heading to the top, and then a winter should be coming after that. This is my opinion. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I would love to have just bull market all over the place again forever, but that's not how things go. So this is my understanding of the market. And if we look right here, take a look at the Bitcoin chart. This is the 4 hours. So we can see that we clearly are testing this 9 moving average. So the yellow line, we're testing it. So we tested here, we tested again, and now we're going up towards the 122, 123. And if we reach 124, we are going to be looking at all-time highs. But on the 4-hour charts, we see that we are already overbought, meaning that we are super extended on the bullish side. So we have to slow down. Not necessarily it means that we're going to be falling back down, but we have to slow down. We have to keep a sideways market for a little bit, maybe just like this or just like that, which will give time for the RSI to kind of flatline once again, slow down towards the 50s, and then do a next leg up. But when you pull up the 1-day chart, you see that we still have some room to go here on the RSI. So the RSI can explode all the way to the 76. It seems silly, just 10 points, but these 10 points could mean between 120 and 130, so $130,000. So that's something to keep an eye on. Again, we are not funneled up. So this is a funnel right here. You see the Bollinger is very tight, and then it exploded on the downward, then on the upwards. It made a top on the RSI, and then we bottomed out. But here we are not funneled. The Bollinger is not showing a huge funnel to then explode towards the direction. No, we already reached the bottom here, and then we started moving to the top of the Bollinger. So in my opinion, we're going to be seeing something like an upwards towards the 123, 124, and then we're going to be coasting with a little bit of ups and downs, something like this. And then we should be doing the next leg up. So this is what I see. Please screenshot this. Let's see if I'm right or wrong by the end of, let's say, October, or maybe by just a few weeks. We should be seeing if I'm right or wrong. But again, if we look right here, I think this line should be going up and then sidelining, testing, and then going up this way. I think this is what's going to happen to the moving average. And this is my little prediction that I have on how the markets are going to behave here in October, or at least for the next following weeks. So for Ethereum now, we are in a similar place as Bitcoin, but on Ethereum, we sort of depend on Bitcoin's readiness to keep moving. If Bitcoin stops, I don't think it's going to stop and then people are going to migrate to Ethereum. I think it's going to be Bitcoin has to move, and then Bitcoin moves, does its thing, then people are going to migrate to Ethereum, and Ethereum is going to do this thing next. So here, maybe 4580, 4590, even 4600 is doable in the next week, but I don't think it's going to be keeping that for a long. I think we're going to reset on Ethereum to then look for that other leg. So going back to 4300, I don't think it's impossible here for us. We know for a fact, we've tested this so far, and the 4100 is a very strong support right now. So if we have to fall down a lot, the 4100 is a place for us to stop for sure, because this goes back in the timeline to other times where the 4100 was very, very strong, and we even tested it right here when a lot of people saying, hey, we're gonna go back to the 3800. I saw people saying 3600, and we did none of that. So now, because we are super extended, if we're falling back down and we're looking for a gap to close, that gap is going to be around the 4100. I don't think it's going to go lower than that, especially not in the month of October. And then we have a kind of strong one from back a few in the monthly. We have this 4250 more or less, but we have to keep an eye on the 200 and the 100 moving average, because they are very close to each other, and they could be, holding, being like a platform for Ethereum to kind of bounce off and do higher highs, which is what we want to see. We want to see this higher highs. So it keeps going up. Even if it corrects, it just corrects on the moving average, and then it keeps going up and doing kind of like a bouncy staircase, always going up. We've talked about this quite a while, and it is the returns on Bitcoin. And again, whenever there's a green month, we have double digits on the next month. So if September closes green, October for sure always has closed green and double digits. So September, we were at 1.1%. So I thought, man, we're going to be closing in the red, and we closed at 5%. And October so far is 5.55%. So very, very good returns. This is what we want to see. So 10% is already double digits. So maybe we're going to stop at 10%. We already did 5. Maybe we stop at 10%. But who knows? Maybe we do 39 this time as well. I'm expecting to see huge returns here on Bitcoin. Maybe we're not going to be seeing 130, 140 like a lot of people are saying in this month, but maybe we're going to be extending to November and December. Who knows? You see, for example, this one did 10%, but then the next month did 37. So maybe this will do 7% and the next one will do 40. Who knows? But that being said, I think October is going to be very green, very profitable for us. And another thing that I think is worth mentioning is that, for example, S&P 500 is up, gold, silver, they are up. They're beating Bitcoin on the annual returns. Bitcoin is stuck at around 20%, something like this. Gold has gone up a lot. The S&P 500 has gone up a lot. Silver has gone up a lot. A lot of these guys are making fun of us because they're saying, hey, we are making money. You guys are stuck with a 15%, 20% return over the year. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. And this is exactly why I think, because we have that delay, we've talked about that delay on the M2 Global, the M2 has a skew of around 3 months. It's around 10 weeks to 3 months. And that gap is starting to show right now. there's a lot of people saying, hey, gold is doing super well. The S&P is doing fantastic. There's a lot of things going up in price. Bitcoin is kind of staying the same. And I think it is just because it has that time delay of around a few weeks. And now October will be, that trigger that makes Bitcoin and all the other cryptocurrencies go up quite a lot. So I think this rotation is about to happen in this month. And we're seeing all the catalysts to do so in a very good way. So hopefully you are prepared. Take some leaps, if you want to do leverage. But again, I don't advise leverage because of the risk of getting liquidated. But take some leaps on Bitcoin, take some leaps on Ethereum or Solana and XRP if you're bullish on those, and just be prepared, because Q4 is going to be the time for you to print money, for you to make the easiest money that you can in crypto. And if you do that, plus the airdrops that are happening right now, even, trading futures, all these other stuff, you combine all of these together, you are able to get a lot of money out of it without having to put much of your money in. So that is a huge, not once in a lifetime, but close to opportunity for you to make money, that actually matters. Not just small change, but good chunks of money according to your size. So hopefully this was able to help you. If you have any questions or if you have any ideas on what you want to see here in the channel, comment down below. It always helps with engagement. So thank you very much. I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a safe weekend. Take care. Peace.